Hello, welcome to my Ask Me Anything time. It's time for you to ask me anything that you're curious about regarding the Alexander technique, life as a professional or amateur musician, or any technical difficulties or mind-body issues that come up when you're making music, practice hacks, performance anxiety, muscular tension, stress, overwhelm. There are all kinds of topics that could be of interest to someone who is a music maker. So welcome. Hello, Angel. I see that you're here. Hello. If you're coming on and watching the replay, I invite you please to just say hello and ask me your questions anytime, even months from now. If you happen to see this video, just tag me and I will answer your questions, I promise. I'm seeing that Jill is here as well. Hey Jill, really glad that you can be here live too. So, Q&A time. I'm going to start off today. Well, first of all, I want to tell you, I am in a really lovely park. As you see, I'm not at home. You can hear there's a bird in this tree right here, up there somewhere. You hear that? Isn't that lovely? I think it's probably a cardinal. Anyway, it's a beautiful place. It's called Alt Park. This is Blue Ash, Cincinnati. And actually, maybe I can turn the camera around and show you just a little bit of this park so you get a view. It's actually a rather cloudy day, but it's not supposed to rain. So there are just a lot of beautiful flowers, gardens everywhere. But I wish oh, there's the cardinal. Yeah, I don't think you can see it from there right now, but he's back there, bright red. Okay, anyway, just so you know where I am and you can feel like we're more on the same page. Okay, I'm going to start with a question that was sent to me by Angelica Martinez. She is a student at the University of Texas in Austin, and she would like to get some tips on getting ready for competitions and the stress involved and how to not feel so competitive in a way that's not helpful. So I think it's a great topic. So I'm going to just speak to that a little bit before I go on to answer anybody else's questions from people who came today. First of all, there's nothing wrong with feeling competitive unless it's getting in your way. So the very first thing I would ask Angelica or anybody who is wondering about their competitiveness is, how is your body responding to that sense of feeling competitive? Now, when you get competitive, is that something that opens you up and helps you feel more at ease and stronger and powerful and expressive? Does it bring out the best in you so that you can relax in competition? Or, and this is more common, does that feeling of competitiveness cause a hardening in you? And literally, does it cause a tightening or a constricting or a tensing up of any of your muscles? So I would suggest that you really go inside yourself and ask yourself, how is this competitiveness in me affecting my whole person? Is it helpful or is it not helpful? Is it constructive or is it destructive? And remember, in itself, competitiveness can be a neutral thing. It can even be a positive thing, but it's very personal. It's very individual in how you think about being competitive, and therefore you are the one that can tell best whether it's a healthy competitiveness, spurs you on to great things, or it's an unhealthy competitiveness that has twinges of jealousy and anxiety and stress involved. So I know Angelica couldn't be here live today, but anybody who is experiencing some competitiveness and wondering about this, is very welcome to have a conversation with me in my private Facebook group. Sorry, not private. All right, I'm back. I'm walking across the park in the hopes that my connection would be better. I just got cut off. I apologize about that. It seems to be okay now. So to pick up where I left off, I was just encouraging anybody who wants to explore this topic further to come join the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe, my free, not private, it's a free Facebook group where we can discuss that in detail, the back and forth and conversation. But another thing I wanted to mention in regards to feeling competitive is that when you're in a competitive mode that's not helpful, that is causing you some constriction or tightening, there is usually an element, there are several things here that I want to mention. There are elements of judgmentalness, particularly towards yourself, because you're setting yourself up for a success or failure paradigm, which is not usually the most helpful. And there's also a potential judging of others, and that's also not helpful. Then there is often an element of fear, and that goes along with potential for failure. So you want to really examine deeply why you are in competition. Why are you doing it? And I would say go deep with that why question. I mean, your first response might be, well, I want to do this music competition because I want to win, and I want to win so that I can get more jobs, and I want to be successful as a musician and make that my career. So that's a great reason to do competitions, right? A really, really good competition, a good reason. And I've been there. I did a lot of competitions when I was a teenager, so I know what that's like. And so there are good reasons for doing that. But then why do you want a career in music anyway? Why do you want to be successful as a musician? What is it about music that you love? If you can connect, here's the golden nugget. If you can connect deeply to your love of music, and you can go into competition full of love, and I'm talking about love of music, love of yourself, love of your instrument, love of the compositions you're playing, love of, here's a big one, love of the jury. What if you just loved the people you were playing for? Love of the audience. Just if you go with the spirit of love, you're going to be open to loving the experience. You're going to love what you're doing. You're going to have a lot of fun, and that is going to enhance your performance like 1,000 times, because when you go out there in that radiant spirit of excitement, enthusiasm, and joy and love, that's contagious. It's infectious, and people can't help but pick up on that great, positive, huge energy, right? So if you want to do well in competition, I highly recommend that you cultivate that huge attitude of all-encompassing love of everything, starting from your heart, and, you know, play from your heart through your instrument out to the world, and forget about winning and losing. Just enjoy yourself. And I'm serious about enjoying yourself. You've got to love yourself and what you're doing to get beyond that unhelpful spirit of competition, right? Competition is about setting people apart, and it's not comfortable. So whatever you can do with your mindset, and it is 100% mindset, to not even care whether you win or not, because you care so much more about the deeper purpose of why you're doing what you're doing, then that competitiveness can't touch you. And again, what I said in the beginning of the video is that there's nothing wrong with being competitive in itself. It depends how you're thinking about it. Is the way you think about it closing you down or hardening you or making you stressed? That's not going to help, because a tight body doesn't play as well, and a stressed mind doesn't play as well. So it's in your best interest, and you're more likely to do well in a competition if you actually care less about it. But that's another huge topic, caring less. Okay, so I hope this is a helpful discussion about this idea of competitiveness. Oh, more people are coming to the park. So I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say on this topic for today. I hope this was helpful for you, Angelica, and anybody else who tends to feel competitive ever. Right, so let's continue this discussion if anybody's interested. Just put a post in the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe. If you're not a member yet, come on over. It's a free Facebook group and we have a lot of fun. Okay, so, oh, hello Alexandra. Hey, it's so nice to know you're here. And Robin and Mia and Kay. Oh, this is great. Oh, it's so nice to have familiar names here. Again, if you're watching the replay, please just say hi. Type hi in there and then I'll know you were here. And feel free to tag me with any comments or questions at any time, even months from now. Okay? Does anybody else have a question? Now's your chance to ask me anything, and I mean anything. And if it's a crazy question, I'm always free to say no and not answer, so don't worry. And there are no stupid questions. So, oh, Marion just came on. Hey, Marion. So, people who know me, I could just talk like all day long about music and enjoying your life more and Alexander technique. But really in this session, I want to respond to your questions. So I'm going to give you another chance to throw a question out there. What are you all working on? Just tell me what you're working on. It doesn't even have to be a question. Give me a topic. Give me something you're working on and I'll just go. I'll go talk about it. Let's see. Possible topics. I mentioned some at the beginning. Performance anxiety, tension. I just did a video answering the question, what is the Alexander technique? I think it was on Thursday. I did a whole video on that, how Alexander technique can help musicians. So I don't think I'm going to go into that right now. You can look up that video if you like. But let's see, Jill has a question. I love you, Jill. Thank you for asking me a question. Jill says, how do you handle when you play in a small group and others make you feel small? Ooh, I love that one. I bet everybody out here can relate to this, starting with me. I have a situation, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's still ongoing. A situation myself in a group where the situation tries to make me feel small, right? I may actually quit that group, and that's always an option, right? Here's another part of her question. Jill says, how do you handle when you play in a small group and others make you feel small and throw negative comments at you? Okay, it's a great question. Thank you, Jill. So this thankfully is not happening to me right now, and I'm sorry if this is happening to you, Jill, or anybody out there. Nobody should ever have to put up with negative comments to their face. It's just, why do people do that? I don't know. I think it's that competitive nature we were just talking about, but the destructive kind, not the constructive kind. People feel so, what's the word? Threatened. I think when people throw negative comments at you and make you feel small, it's because they feel threatened, or they feel small or insignificant or insecure, or they feel like they're an imposter or they're not living up to some standard, and so then they have to make themselves seem bigger than you to make themselves feel better. Yeah, and I was just thinking of you, Robin. Robin just said, we got rid of the offending person in the end. Good. I was actually wondering just now, whatever happened to your group and your situation, because you were in something like that a lot. So good for you. I'm glad you got rid of that person. I mean, so that's one option. I mean, you've got to look at your situation, and if there's anything you can just take action on to improve your situation, just do something about it. If a person is being really offensive and doesn't belong there, take steps to remove that person. Now, there are many situations where you don't have that kind of control over your situation, and if you can't do anything about the situation, then you really need to examine what's going on in yourself and ask yourself, well, what exactly is happening to me? How do I react when this person or this group is saying these things to me? So first step is always self-observation. You want to really get to know yourself. Oh, fly. I reacted to the fly. Yeah, you need to get to know yourself and your reactions. So become a detective, become an observer of yourself, and become an impartial, as much as possible, an impartial observer of the situation when it's happening. And it's very hard to do this in the moment, but you can reflect on it later and try to be objective about what was actually said, and see how your body responds to particular situations, words, comments, looks that they're giving to you. How do you feel in your body? Now, if it's aggressive and negative and the person is really trying to make you feel small and it's not just you, then that's important information. Then you need to decide, is this a situation you want to continue to put yourself in? You can change the situation by leaving yourself. You can try to kick out that person, or you can leave. But ultimately, wouldn't it be nice if we could all get along? Sometimes it's impossible because the other person or people are really consciously trying to wound us. But instead of trying to second guess what their motives are, let's start by leaving them alone and take care of ourselves. Notice how you're reacting to things and use the tools that you have to take care of your mindset. Now, Jill, you're one of my coaching clients, and you have, I thank you for asking this question. I'm guessing that you already know the answer, and this question was really more for everybody else, and I really appreciate that. All right, Jill, I know you have the tools, and I have no doubt whatsoever that you are using them diligently and that they're helping you. But it's always really, really good to get reminders that support us in that mindset work that we're doing. So I'm really happy you brought it up today for yourself and for others. For those of you who are new to my work with the Alexander Technique online, you may not realize that there are specific things you can do. Very, very specific things to do. And specific ways that you can think differently. Kay says, consider the source and choose to postpone decisions about whether to believe it. Yeah, you don't have to, just don't worry about them right now. You've got to start by taking care of yourself. And what Jill just said, she says, it happened recently in a trio. I believe it was insecurity. I tried to not let it steal my joy. Yeah, and I think you're talking about the other person's insecurity. And you're probably totally spot on, because I know you're very sensitive and intuitive to these things. So I don't doubt at all that that person was feeling insecure and was out of the insecurity, they tried to put you down to make themselves feel better, unfortunately. And you try not to let it steal your joy. That's great. For me, it always helps to think, okay, that person is making themselves small by being tight and trying to put me down. They are going down. I am going up. I am going up and opening. And if you can continue to get curious about ease in yourself and practice the Alexander tools that you have, the mindset tools that are centering and calming, like the cycle. If there's anybody new to my broadcast and you don't know what the cycle is, I can't do it right now because it's hard from my phone, but maybe somebody else could give them the link for the cycle if anybody has it handy, or I can do it later. There's a 5-day challenge that teaches you how to do the cycle and make it a daily warm-up and practice. It only takes 2 minutes. You can do the cycle, or even an emergency shortened version of the cycle, on the spot when you're feeling like you're reacting to something hurtful that someone said. Okay, so really taking care of yourself first is number one. It has to be your top priority. forget the other person. Just don't even think about them and take care of yourself by observing how you're feeling, how you're getting tight, and then just getting curious. Okay, well, I'm feeling tight here. Where do I seem just a little bit easy right now? And if you can keep bringing your mind back to asking yourself, where else do I seem a little bit easy right now, it starts to dissipate. Maybe not in the moment so much, but later. Like Jill says, yes, I did that all this morning and it helped a lot. Fantastic. You're really knowing how to take care of yourself more and more, Jill. It's really great. And I like how Angel says you rise above it. You really do. But not by trying to do anything or asserting that you're not going to be put down, asserting your strength and making yourself bigger. It's just like you don't even listen. You notice. You really have to allow yourself to feel the way you feel, because it's natural to be hurt and to have a bit of a reaction. But then you can do the work of helping yourself rise above it and come out of that into more open ease and a more loving attitude that's ready to move on. Thank you, Angel, for posting that link to the cycle. Thank you. That's great. Appreciate that. Okay, so hopefully, Jill, does this help? I hope this was an answer that you found helpful. And anybody else, I hope it was helpful. Any other questions before I sign off for today? Now's your chance to throw something at me. So, common topics: pain, performance anxiety, muscular tension, stress, overwhelm, time management. That's one that's been coming up a lot this weekend. Feeling like you never have enough time. Does anybody out there ever feel like you don't have enough time? I'm gonna raise my hand. It's a common feeling that I have, feeling like there's just so much I want to do and a limited time in the day to do it. Part of the reason I'm out here at the park right now is because I didn't have time to get home on time for this video. But I do also like the variety, and if you know me, you know I love to be outside, so I'm happy out here. Oh, and Angel just posted the 5-day practice challenge. Yes, thank you so much, Angel. That's really great that you put that there. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any more questions popping up here. So, if I sign off and you have another one, feel free to just stick it in the comments, even if it's tomorrow or next week. Right? It doesn't really matter. Just tag me. Just make sure that you tag me so that I don't miss your question. Okay? When I'm done with this video, I'm going to share the video into the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe. Oh yes, there's one other thing that I wanted to suggest, which is pertinent to both of these topics that I talked about today: feeling competitive and feeling put down by others. Something that would be really helpful for anybody that would like a little extra support with this would be my Musician's Mindset Power Toolkit. Okay, this is a very powerful tool to have on hand. It includes an in-depth teaching of the cycle and how to really take care of yourself. It gives you a very quick, simple 5-step daily practice to help you with performance anxiety or anything else related to wanting to develop a positive mindset for an open, flexible, movable body. That's going to help you improve your technique at your instrument, and it's going to help you really enjoy your performances rather than feel stressed about them. So check out the Musician's Mindset Power Toolkit, and I hope you try it out. I'm really happy with what I put together there for you. And feel free to share any of this with anybody you know, okay? So thank you so much, everybody, for being here with me live today, or for watching the replay if you couldn't make it live. And I will see you on Thursday, possibly. I mean, I'll be there. I don't know if you'll all be able to make it, but my next live video for you is 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursday here in my Facebook business page. And I'm going to be talking about one topic, and I don't know what that is yet. So if there's a huge topic you want me to talk more at length on, send me a message, send me an email, tell me what you want to talk about. And I will give you a virtual hug, because I'm always looking for topics, things to talk about for you. And I'm here to help. So take advantage of these sessions and I will help you the best way I can. All right? Happy practicing. See you in the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe, and lots of love. Bye, everybody.